Okay guys, so over the next section what I'm going to do is I want to just walk you guys through the framework, the growth framework, and just show you up front what are the properties we're going to use over the next few weeks with this course. And the reason why I've built this out this way is, one, it's scalable, two, it's very cost effective to get started, three, we can plug in a lot of automation, and four, there's a lot of added benefits, especially for local SEO with this particular framework. So what I'm going to cover first is online framework. In this module, we're going to look at the framework. Basically, these are the stages and the things we're going to be working with as we go along in a stack of priority. So the first thing we do is our market analysis. Once we understand the market, we understand our product, we understand what we're selling, we understand who we're competing with, we understand or have a good idea of how we're going to get traffic in the market, what types of methods we're going to use to actually drive this traffic to our funnels, then we basically go to build out our website, which is our WRun branded website. Okay. The very next thing is, once we've built out the website and we've got all our silos up and we've written our content and we've got everything prepped and ready, and we've got our funnels integrated and we've gone through the transactional process, then we come back and if we're doing local stuff, add Google My Business. Once Google My Business is set up for your business, especially if you're doing a local service or product, then we're going to utilize that to basically reinforce our branded product or website, and we're going to get that up and running. Once it's done, we'll then look at our social properties, which we call the WRS1 branded properties. These are all our Facebooks, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all the social properties where we're going to publish our news updates and all our things. Lastly, we're going to get to our blog, and if we wanted to blog and use content marketing as a strategy, we'll build the blog, which basically is a theme mirror of our money site. We'll speak more about that shortly. And then if we're going to get really fancy and do all kinds of things, we can build our War2 sites. These are web automated rings. We cover these in detail in Power Core, and there's a lot of big updates I'm going to show you guys in this, especially in the Power Core course. Right, so the next thing we do is automation. How do we log all our leads? How do we communicate with the customers? So now we've got all our stuff working online, it's all set up. We need to do the wiring underneath it that uses that automation to actually start doing all our administration work and all our sales through the systems. And then finally, the business. We're going to use 360 Suite to build this for this course. The reason why I'm saying this is we can start with $6 or $8 is what it costs us for one email, and it unlocks all the tools that we need. So for a very low barrier to entry, we can basically get our email, our folders for storing our documentation, we've got analytics of what's going on, we've got the tag manager which we're going to use, we can optimize and split test our pages, and we can write advanced reports in Data Studio. Surveys, we can speak to our customers, which ties back into market analysis, and then attribution, we can look at how things are working on our site, and on the audience center, on these two paid services, we can utilize that to drive more traffic. Okay, so this basically boils down to business administration. So we log into one place, we can store everything on this here, and we can work. Now what's great about this is essentially, if we're working with new customers and we are doing work for other businesses, the biggest challenge a lot of guys have is the business doesn't want to change what they've got at the moment. They don't want to learn new systems. They don't want to do all kinds of stuff. There's technical teams that don't want their stuff touched. Everybody's very protective over everything. Now to free you up, basically what you can do is with 360 for basically $7 a month, you can actually set up the infrastructure on this over here. You can set up your whole automation system to work with these properties, and you can build out the site, get it ranking, get the traffic coming in, and via things like Zapier, we can essentially migrate the information that they need, most importantly, to the actual business without impacting what they're doing. So we're going to basically run through this process as we go through the course, and we're going to look at the different things. But in a nutshell, for any business that you're working with, there's three core things you're going to do. One, we're going to set up the infrastructure for our online marketing. Two, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff that's automated so that we get one set of reports coming out from the information. And number three, we're going to isolate it for the business so that the business can integrate at their own time without having too many headaches. Okay, so that's basically the framework. Now the methods we apply once the framework's set up is what's going to give us the growth. and we're going to discuss that as we go through the processes. That's using YouTube and different types of things to drive more traffic. But I hope you guys get the idea of what we're going to be building and what we've been working on. It's very, very simple. We're going to basically use 360 to give us a lot of stuff at a very low cost. It's going to give us security, it's going to give us a scalable system, it's going to give us infrastructure that can work at a corporate level depending on how big the business is. So that's a major plus for this whole system, because we can speak to any company at any point in time. So because we're starting off, what the last thing I'm going to cover on today's session is the market analysis, and we're going to basically look at this, and then we're going to jump into DMT and we're going to look at a few things in the actual tool. And then after that, I'm going to basically give you guys your assignment that you should go and do for the week. Okay guys, so I'm going to walk you through the process now. I've logged into digitalmarketingtoolbox.app. You'll see below this video, you'll check the links to the app so you can actually have a look. If you own the app, you can just log in. But basically, this will get you to see what's on the inside. Now, when we do market analysis, there's a few steps you've got to go through. So what I've done to make things very simple for you guys in Digital Marketing Toolbox is, as we log in and we're on the dashboard, here where it says let's get started, we got what we just discussed previously, the 5 steps to business success. There's identifying the market, developing the strategy to meet the market's needs, detailed plan to execute the strategy. Okay, those are our top 3 points that we're going to focus on. The skeleton, the bones, the meat. Simple. Okay. Now, to find these templates, I've created a whole bunch of templates for you guys to use. Underneath community and training, templates, you can see we've got 11 templates at this point in time. We will add to these templates as time goes on, and you'll always find the templates underneath the roadmap. For the guys, if this is the first time that you're over here, basically the WordPress plugins, we use the video silo builder, the one feed supercharger. Video silo builder is what we build the silo architecture for. It goes 3 tiers deep: silos, categories, supporting articles. It's got the ability to embed videos and video comments into the actual page as a holding page if you so choose. The one feed supercharger basically is a WordPress plugin that allows you to merge multiple RSS feeds into one feed. So to simplify that, I will take 5 feeds from different locations, I will add them, I will then add my keywords to filter what content I want to come out, and that'll come out in one feed, which I can then embed into a blog or anywhere else that I want. Okay, customer services. If you want private training, you can contact us. Here's a work hub. This is where we put our courses. You'll find PowerCore and Local Pro there if you have purchased those courses. There's free courses there as well. A lot more is going to come out there in the future. Work hubs where we talk as a community. Okay, so now that I'm in Digital Marketer's Toolbox and I want to start a new project, the first thing I want to do is open the Market Intel template. And when I click on this, what this is going to open up is basically the 8 top market research questions. I found this online. I can't remember who the credit was, but whoever did it was great. But it's a great point, and I made a bookmark of it because when I started building DMT, Digital Marketer's Toolbox, I wanted to have a tool that brought all the information that I need to answer these questions. Okay, so in the next example, using this template, I'm going to walk you through what I thought about when I built Digital Marketer's Toolbox using these 8 questions. Okay, and I'll give you a real world example. But before we do that, the first thing you want to do is go File, make a copy, make your own copy of this. And as you ask yourself these questions, just put your answers in over here. The reason why I say this to you now, be speaking to you a lot about language, how we use words, what are the meanings of words, and what is the relationship between the primary keyword that you're targeting and the words that are used in the prefix or the suffix or within the same sentence on the front or the back end of the phrase that you're targeting. We typically talk about this as contextual relevance or thematic relevance. Those are the 2 words we are going to use going forward. Contextual relevance is what is the context of the entire site? What is this whole thing about? Thematic relevance is what is the specific conversation about. So contextual is the entire theme, the entire website. Thematic relevance is for the silo structure for that topic, for that single conversation that's about a specific thing. Okay, so let's look at these questions. And in this example, I'm going to use DMT just to walk you through what I thought here. So what's the biggest challenges and frustrations around your topic? So at Network Empire, we built basically Kraken, we built DWS, we built the Video Silo plugin, we built the One Feed Supercharger, we built all these great tools. And these tools have always been ahead of the curve for years. Network Empire is known for being ahead of the curve with the technology it develops, always. Okay. Biggest problem was there's too much data coming out and having to be put into the next step of the process, into the next tool. So there's a lot of importing, exporting, and this made things very complicated. People got lost in the process. There's too many steps. How do we solve this problem? When we're doing digital marketing, we want to focus on the 20% that makes money. All the work, the 80% that keeps us busy, detracts from us truly observing the market we want to engage in. Okay. Now, when we speak to people online, we're having a conversation, whether it's through video, whether it's through the written word, whether it's through an image or a meme. Somehow, we pass the message across, right? When we understand what the pains and the frustrations are, that allows us to think very clearly on how we have to build or what we have to build. Okay. So with Digital Marketers Toolbox, the biggest challenge I had and frustration I had, especially with coaching a lot of folks, was all the steps. So how did we solve that? We bought DMT, Digital Marketers Toolbox. Everything's in a single flow, so a single process. So essentially, when you look at the tool, you don't have to come and import or export anything. You don't have to go to another keyword tool to go get keywords to do what you want. You can, after the fact, if that's what you want to do. If you want to make a list of 100,000 keywords, super easy. I'll just use Scrapebox. But I will use the keywords I get out of DMT, Digital Marketers Toolbox, as the thematic stem, and I will then stick it in Scrapebox and fetch all the long tails. And it'll take me, a few minutes. Easy to show. But it's just an example. So now that we're in this market intelligence stage, okay, all we need to do essentially is create a profile. Now, what you'll notice in this project here, I've got a profile set up already. Now, this demo was to show you what the $67 comes in. I pretended I was Neil Patel, so I looked at his site, and a reverse engineered authority site. So in this particular project that I'm going to show you guys now, I've basically done a market analysis on a specific industry. Okay, and the way I've done this is I've looked at the top authority websites. In other videos, I'm going to show you when we get down to the local level, I'm going to show you how we're going to use DMT for local marketing and how to exploit the most. But the process that we were speaking about earlier was, instead of having a complicated system where we had to go jump between tools, everything's in DMT now. Kraken, killer keywords, Paint Finder, DWS, everything is in here, just better and faster, more intelligent, and it gives us access to information rapidly. Right, so the way DMT works is we create a profile. A profile is essentially the entity that all this data is tied to. So I typically look at it as from a company's point of view, and I can create a company for that. Okay, so over here I've just got this demo one here. When I click into the profile, under profiles we've got projects. Now if we're building web rings, we can essentially have our WR1 money site. We can have our WR1 blog. WR means web ring. It's the inner ring. It's your branded properties. Okay, so when it's a WR1, when I make mention of WR1, I'm speaking about your branded properties. You could have a wiki, you could have a blog, you could have a money site, you could have an educational portal. Those are 4 entities, they're 4 projects, 4 domains. And if they're public, if they're getting enough traffic, they will pick up a footprint. And DMT helps us find that footprint. So now, when we look at this, you can see I'm in the profile. That's the profile there. If I want to look at a website, I basically just go and put in the domain name as it is there, top level, you can see there. When I stick it in, I then choose any search engine that I want to look at, and I give it a description. So over here you can see I've got my WR1 money site. That's my site. I'm just using Neil Patel as an example, and I want to reverse engineer how these guys are getting traffic and what the topics are that they're getting traffic from, and what's linking to them, what they're paying for. I just want to get a quick snapshot of what's going on. So as we add these domains, what it does is it brings back intelligence immediately for us. Okay, so we can see the domain authority, the page authority. These are very tough markets. These guys are true market leaders, and we can sort of see how the stack is, how the battlefield's laid. Now when we look at the organic keywords, we can see how many keywords the site's got registered in the SEMrush database. Organic traffic is the total amount of traffic that these sites are potentially getting off these keywords, and organic rank value is how much that traffic value is. So we've blended in Kraken features here, but what it does is allows us to follow the money. Now obviously you can see over here where it's blue, there's over $1 million getting made a month in traffic value. Okay, over here we can see that WordStream, which is a PPC company, is investing heavily in money. So immediately it creates a lay of the land, the first setting stage of a battlefield, and this is what we call a market analysis. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to the framework and just show you where we're at. So let's just roll back quickly. We're starting to work on our online campaign. We go to our framework. The first thing we need to do is the market analysis. This is our recon. We need to get to understand what's going on. So we're going to do a strategic assessment, and for fun I've made this in a battle format. We're going to be doing battle, we're going to be fighting for rankings, like Jeff says. SEO Bootcamp, the battle for first position is real. Okay, we have to plan for the siege. This is where DMT comes in. The formation, how are we going to attack? The force, how big is it going to be? It answers and gives us interesting things we can look at. So when you come to do your market analysis, the first thing you want to basically do is get to know what are the rules of the game. How's this game played? Who are the players? Okay, so for fun we got you out of the way. Seasonal impact, summer, autumn, winter. Terrain. Now they're all DAs of 50 to 100. The terrain's difficult. It's super high. It's going to be a battle. These guys will write a blog post and get thousands of keywords. If I'm starting off fresh, I have no chance. So that means I need to attack or make allies with these authority sites. It changes the way we play this game. So for this campaign, this digital marketing campaign, if we make it a game, we can essentially start thinking out of the box of what we get told. Because remember, people find new methods every single day. So methods come and go. Some stay for a very long time, others last shortly. Okay, now when we come to this, I want you guys to start thinking about this whole process using the framework as a very smart way to think about how are we actually doing this. So the game, if we take away all the noise, there's people and systems that we're competing with. There's terrain, how Google sees these sites, their authorities or their weak. There's logistics, if we get the sales, how do they get to the person? Do we have to take it through trucks? Do we fly it? Does it go through digital places? How does it get delivered? And then who are we fighting with, or who are we making allies with? Okay, so you guys get the idea. Now, assessment for comparison. This gives us a few questions to really think about. What and who are we up against? Okay, just think about that. If we are competing with the electricians down the road, they're doing the yellow pages, they're doing Yelp, they're doing whatever. Some guys have got networks that just feed them work. Everyone's got a different way of getting leads. We need to understand how that works. Now when we look at our competitors, why are you looking at a competitor? This is a very, very important thing, because a lot of guys come into market research and they try and break into the market, but they have no idea of where they're going or what they're doing. And the very first question is, okay, how do we solve the problem? So we have to figure out how these guys are solving out the problem. Okay, the next thing we have to do is, what are these problems costing you? Now from DMT's point of view and all our old tools, these guys had to buy a whole bunch of subscriptions to get access to different parts of the puzzle. Now with Digital Marketer's Toolbox, we brought everything into one unique process. We can come in and create a profile for a company, add the projects that we're working on, whether it be market analysis or whether it be just looking at them specifically. We can then drop into any domain and see exactly what's going on, like there. If they're not blocking X frames, we get to see straight away what they're saying, what their pitches are. Okay, and we've also get access to the market analysis, the semantic cluster, all the information. We just filled in one domain and it gives us all the information back. We add products and themes, which we'll deal with later on. But you can see here we've got a linear process. We do our market research, we add our products in and map out our funnels, we design the site how we think it's got to be, and we export it out. And all this data that we can export out, we can use for digital marketing blueprints. We can use it for mass site generation. We can use it for anything that we want to do, for our ROI stacks, our ROIS stacks. Okay, so the process is very simple. What you guys need to do to come back to this is open up this link, which you'll find on the profiles, on the dashboard. Step 1, Market Intel Template. Think about the product you're selling and ask these questions. Okay, so it's a bit of a long explanation, but I needed to just walk you and hop you through so that you can actually see what we're doing. So just to recap in 1 second, when you do your market analysis, there's a lot of things that come into consideration from a top level overview. Okay, a lot of things to think about all the way through. But to make this very simple for you, I've given you this process, the market research process. Find pains in the market. You can get it from search engines, social search engines, online shopping carts, local business listing sites. Okay, if you take your pain keyword and you type it in, you'll see what comes back. You can search in groups, books like Amazon, and review sites. You can quickly find out what people like and do not like by looking at these things through looking for reviews. Okay, the reviews is the key thing. Another way is through surveys. You can utilize Google Forms that we basically get when we set up our business structure on 360 through surveys. We can get free forms or we can pay. We can actually take this survey that we create and we can push it into the attribution or the audience center, the audience center. And what that does is you can pay per lead using surveys, but we'll cover that a bit more in more detail in our Power Call. To make the market research very, very simple, start off with Google. Okay, open up Google and type in the topic and look for what people are saying. The same is go to the search engines and look for groups that are associated with the topic and find it. Online shopping, go to Amazon, go to books in Amazon, type in the topic, see what books come back, see who the authors are, because the authors lead to authorities. When you understand who the authorities are, you can essentially find their websites. If their websites are good and not competing with you, that becomes an ally. We can actually add their RSS feed and use that information as a source if they are experts in a specific topic. The RSS feed can be used for many, many things. You can even create relationships with these people because now you're aware of who they are in the conversation. That's the whole point of market analysis. So use a search engine to get what you want. 2, don't just use Google all the time to do your searches. Go across to DuckDuckGo. You'll get a different perspective. So you can open up Google, do the search. Open up DuckDuckGo, do the search. What 2 things are going to happen? I'll just show this to you quickly. Here's what people are looking for. Okay, so I just used the how-to as a modifier on the segment beard oil. Your market would be beard, single word phrase. Beard oil is a market segment. Okay, now the how-to, when we use that as a modifier on that, it allows us to unlock all the variants. Also, when you do this here, we can actually look and see what they are saying, how to apply beard oil recipes. And very quickly you can see what guys are saying. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys a little trick. As soon as you're dealing with politics and different things, the search engines show a bit of bias. So it's quite interesting when you look at it from that point of view. But when you're doing market analysis and you need to answer the questions, use the 8 top market research questions as your guidelines. Think about what you're doing. So let's go through this. What was my biggest challenge and frustration? There were too many steps in the process. I had to import, export, and do too many things that took up too much time to get to the end result. What was that problem costing me? It was costing me time It was frustrating, and after a while I just can't be asked using the tool anymore. So I didn't get the full maximum power out of the tool. How did I solve that? We cleaned up the process, we integrated all the tools into one linear process, and there's no more importing and exporting. You start at the top, you fill in 2 forms, you add a domain or you add a product for your funnel, and the data is there prepped and ready for you. What goals do you have for your topic this year? Okay, so I want to show you guys how to get the most out of Digital Marketer's Toolbox. I want to show you how it's convenient and how we can use this to actually make money. Some of our certified advisors have basically come in, they've spent $65 as a tester, and they've sold that for a $2,000 blueprint as an example. So straight away the tool is making money for you. Okay, so that's how my goal is, to make as many people as possible aware of the tool that are in our industry, because I find it very, very useful. Okay, if what would your customer life look like if they accomplish these goals? Well, before, when you did digital marketing, you had to go to multiple sources to fetch the information that you needed. Then you had to import, export, and do all that stuff again to compile reports. Now with Digital Marketer's Toolbox, the typical lifestyle is going to be the guy's going to come in, he's got a customer on the phone, he logs into Digital Marketer's Toolbox, he types in the domain name over here, so he's going, "Hi there, Mr. Smith, how are you doing? Please tell me a little bit about yourself. Could I get your website just to see what you're looking at?" And he's going to put the guy's name, his email, his phone number. He's going to type the business name in. He's going to create a profile. The chatting. He selects his profile. He's going to type in a domain name. Boom, 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 boom. As he does that, he's just going to type this as the customer's W1 in the notes and what the guy wants to achieve, and he's going to press submit. The conversation is going to go on a bit more. As the information comes back, he'll click into it. And as he clicks into it, he gets a summary straight away of what's going on in his website, and he can talk to the customer about his website in real time if X-frames are not included. Here you can see the snapshot of how much keywords, traffic, and cost on organic and paid is. You can see what's going on, and he can see all the missed opportunities. So email subject lines, 3,600 searches a month. He's in position number 4. That's a quick win. What's going to take to move that page into the location? So can you see very quickly how we're using market research to break down and analyze things very, very quickly with no effort? So that's how we solved that problem over there. Now, if you could have any question answered about your topic, what would it be? Well, typically, if you think about digital marketers, what are the questions they have to ask? They need to know who they're competing with, how they position their products, what's the price, is it profitable, can they actually break into the market, what type of traffic medium do they have to use, must it be PPC, what's the marketing plan, what's the content plan. There's all this stuff, there's so much stuff that they have to do. And what I've done with Digital Marketer Toolbox is I've made it a lot simpler. I've condensed the information, I've done 80% of the work, and now you just sit at the 20% and you actually think about your market, and the screen shows this information. So very quickly, as we're going through this process, and as we're looking at whatever information comes back over here, we get to see exactly what's going on. So step 1 for this week, guys, is go and figure out what it is that you're doing. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to go and just focus on this, okay? And be very clear on what you're doing there. Once you've got that done, go back to your dashboard in Digital Marketer's Toolbox. When you come to number 3, what the heck are you selling? What I want you guys to do this week is to start thinking about what you're selling and filling in just this basic information. Map it out, okay? Then I want you to look at the keyword qualification matrix. Read through this and see if you understand it, because I want to do a whole session just on keywords, how we create keywords. Because if we are selling apartments, okay, who are we selling apartments to? I'll quickly take you through this. With this simple method, what you can do is very quickly construct keyword shingles, keyword strings that go into your sentences and that go into your paragraphs that clearly define to the search engines what it is that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so if you think about the TDF, IDF process that a lot of people are talking about, and look at your competitors and finding the best words that are needed, the keyword qualification matrix helps you clearly define not only the words that are needed, but who you're speaking to. Okay, now what you're going to find in this document are three important things. One, it allows you to drop your ideas. Two, you have this keyword qualification matrix as a reminder. And then three, at the bottom of the document we're going to look at shortly, it's going to give you a lot of questions you can ask yourself when you're trying to determine who your persona and profile is that you can be selling to. Okay, so once you've gotten a good idea and you come back to look at keywords within the Digital Marketer's Toolbox, when you use the keyword qualification matrix that I'm showing you over here, you're going to think about the words in a different context. It's going to be more about the topic and how you're blending the conversation to clearly define what it is that you're selling to that person. Okay. So the way it works is this. The keywords are broken down into four parts. We've got a descriptor, we've got a type, we've got purchase intent, we've got location. Now typically the type, the number 2, is what we get on any keyword tool. With the keyword qualification matrix, what it allows you to do is take any type of keyword and very quickly determine or construct who the target audience is. Okay, so number 1, description. It describes the intent. Number 2, type. Think about an object that describes a thing. Purchase intent. How is this person going to get this thing, this object, whatever it is? And number 4, location. Where are they going to get this object? If you keep in your head the 4 properties of a keyword, descriptor, type, purchase intent, and location, you can very, very quickly combine keywords. Okay, so descriptor. We're going to work through this now, and we're going to look at 2 people. Some people have money, other people don't have money. So I want to talk to guys who got money. So I'm going to use the modifier. This descriptor is our best. Okay. The next thing I'm after is apartments. It can be a house, it can be land, it can be an office. What am I selling? What's the type? I'm selling an object. It's an apartment. So I want the best apartment. Now if we come to number 3, the purchase intent. Do I want to buy it or do I want to hire it? So can you see how we're constantly splitting hairs as we're going through the matrix? So I'm going to say I want to buy it. It must be for sale. And then lastly, the location. Where? In New York. What it does is it gives us, for the keyword apartments, we've got best apartments for sale in New York. Okay, that describes specifically what's the intent of that phrase. Okay, now when we start constructing headlines like this, we start dropping sentences that are designed like this into a copy using the most important words that are used within the context of the entire conversation, contextual relevance. We can create pages and URL structures that are very, very powerful, that clearly tell the user what the topic's about, but more importantly, it tells the search engines what the relationships are. And what happens there is when the search engines actually rank and filter your pages based on how you're using the words and the keywords in your sentence structures, in your paragraphs, that then will give you a better alignment with the audience that you're trying to speak to, because it understands. Now if your word, if your language is too thin on the page, or not clearly defined, or if there are synonyms that are bound to, for example, here's an example for you. Let's just say we've got a football club. You can be trying to talk about the town, but if you talk about a location that's very popular within the town, you could skew that ranking context. That page could rank for more for the football club than actually the town. So depending on how you use the modifiers in the keyword qualification matrix, it allows you to clearly define what it is that you're speaking to. So I just wanted to end on that one there. Okay, so make sure that you read through this and understand it. Then you can run through this and just drop some ideas. But as you come down, to find the pain in the market, within Digital Marketer's Toolbox, we've got a really great feature here. So you can come into any profile, you can drop into any domain. Okay, so I'll just drop in there. And whatever we add in the profile, it'll automatically extract all the questions. And what this does is a very interesting thing. When we add our products, okay, you can see on Neil Patel, I've added 2 products to that domain as if it was mine. I can come in here, I can select digital marketing, and I say set the product. What this is going to do is going to show me my funnel. I believe that I want to sell this, I'm going to get ranked for this keyword in this category for this price. I'm going to make so much profit, and there's my funnel conversions. When I click on any of the keywords, how, what, when, where, which, who, why, are, can, I can show as many keywords as I want. And what this does is it goes and looks at the entire cluster, all the projects that we have within the profile, and pulls back the keywords. So we can click on this and it'll open up a blog. How do you start a blog? We can see the URL. We can see the headline. We can see the context. We can analyze this page and see exactly how he stacked this whole page and what he's done. Okay, so very, very quickly we can get the questions. So what this does is it looks at your funnel and looks at the traffic that those questions have, and it shows you where the money flows. So if you look at these top 10 questions here, they dominate sales on buy buttons, on phone calls, and on emails, purely because of the amount of traffic that they have. So we can see the Google search, we can see the natural click-through, we can see the conversions, how much it means to us in money. Okay, if we rank number 1 for these keywords. So this helps us really reverse engineer very quickly, but we can go cherry pick our best keywords that we want to write about and shove them into our template. Okay, we can stick them in here and blend them. Okay, the next thing is who's our ideal customer. Very basic, but we've added this whole section of how to create a persona. Okay, and you can basically look at this and you can see the demographics, the backstories. You don't have to answer all these questions. Okay, that's just to help you, because it unlocks different ways of thinking where you can find the people that you want to sell to. Now, in many instances, you can create an online campaign, but sometimes it becomes difficult to do stuff online. But doesn't mean that you can't sell to those people. You might just end up discovering that you're going to drop flyers in that specific locale, which is much cheaper to break into the market. So always think out of the box, guys, when you do your market analysis, because whatever you determine and figure out here now is going to be used when we start building your website. So we do market analysis, then we set up the site, we build the site. We're going to go through this process. Once we built our site, we're going to then look at our structure, that's the architecture that we built, and then we're going to drop our content on top of that. Now, another benefit of the questions over here is you got 483 questions that need answering on the how, on the what. You're looking at a lot of content you could write if it's relevant to what you're selling. Okay, so look at that one there. Those 2 keywords there, they've got a lot of money flowing through them. Those guys are making over $1 million in sales based on this funnel. Okay, so you want to find out what those things are. So that's market research, guys. What we have in market research is top backlinks, the semantic cluster, the market analysis, and questions. So we come in and we've added our domains. That's unlocked all these features for us in minutes. The market analysis is a one-to-one relationship. I can jump to Mars, to any of these sites I've looked at what's going on in their world. The semantic cluster basically shows us all the keywords for all these domains on one screen. Okay, so keep your themes tight and keep them relevant. If you start adding rogue websites, you're going to burn credits, and there's no point putting a competitor in that's got nothing to do with you. Don't waste your time. It's just going to dilute and make your subset messy. Okay, so guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. What you want to do is go through there and define who you're selling to. This is the most important part. Come in, add your domain, press submit. It's going to come back. Click into your domain, come down to your product, click on new product, give your product a name, add the keyword. The longer the tail the keyword becomes, the less data comes back. So if you put a 5 or 6 or 7 word phrase in here, don't expect much results back. If you use locales in your phrase, don't expect much results back. This data gets pulled from SEMrush and a few other sources, and the longer the keyword tail, the better. So when you're adding your products, start higher up. Like you can see over here, I've got digital market keyword tool. I'm doing like 1 or 2 word phrases, 3 word phrases. What that allows me to do is then look at the market from a top level overview. 1, I want to see where the traffic flows in the market. 2, I want to see where the money flows in the market. 3, I want to see what are the top themes that are commanding attention. Marketing digital, okay, that's another one as well. And I want to see what are the top videos. So when we add products, it gives us access to the related terms, the phrase terms, the top 5 competitors that are here. What are the keywords these pages are ranking for? So if we go to the Wikipedia page and I switch this out, I can see all the keywords that page is ranking for. I can see the missed opportunities. I can see the ones that are competitive purely by the color coding in the rows. So it gives us a lot of insights, and number one, we can flip through all the top pages and see how they're getting traffic. So straight away when I look at this page, what is digital marketing, here we can see how the keywords are coming in. Which ones are ranking? Digital marketing basics is number 1, 170. If we adjust this page, we can start tapping into the bigger traffic. So it helps us to really unlock the market. It helps us to look at our own products. It helps us to establish where we are and where the gaps and the opportunities are when we work in our own properties. And if it's a brand new website, don't be scared, okay? This is very important. A lot of you guys might be making brand new websites. When you come and create a profile, you set it up, you come in, you add your domain, and nothing comes back. It's purely because there's no footprint online for your website yet. This is where we recommend you go look at one of your authority sites in the market, who's dominating the market, and you add them. And you start building your structure based off what they're doing that's working well. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. This is stage 1, market analysis. I'm going to take the screenshots and put them on the page. You'll see all the information below. And this is the process you're going to apply today when you use Digital Marketer's Toolbox. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next session.